Well, hello, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 88. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, Virtual Strangers 88. The year is behind us, the last episode of the year. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good for a lot of reasons. One, I love the rain. It's nice and peaceful. And my main thing is we're your audio synced. We finally got the audio synced. I'm sure you guys are all enjoying the fact that Wes's mouth is actually moving with the audio, which was really more on my end than I guess it's Zoom. We had to switch to Zoom to get it to work properly. And now I want to say to the communist Chinese government, I love you. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, China number one.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, that was me knocking on wood, by the way, in case you all didn't catch it. We did run probably a 20 or 30-minute test live on the channel the other night after the Tuesday show, and everything went well then. So you guys let us know if the audio goes out of sync, but hopefully we've got this one licked.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about the show today. There's some good topics. And right off the bat, I saw somebody asking about people's thoughts on Medal of Honor. And what I would suggest for that is come on Tuesday. Tuesday, the Monday show on Tuesday, we'll be talking in depth about Medal of Honor. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, so that's for those of you who may be new to the channel, that's kind of our MO here. We talk about gaming news on Sunday, and then on the Monday show, we talk about what we've been playing, and that generally has is some kind of new VR title. This week it's like what, three Roots? I mean, we've got Mist to talk about. We've got Medal of Honor that I'm going to talk about. And then we've got Vin, but I guess we can talk a little bit about Vin already. We did a gameplay and put it up on the channel yesterday. Roots some heavy Astrobot vibes, and that's not such a bad thing, is it?
No, no, and that's why I was telling you the same thing. Like right off the bat, for me, Vin, I just felt like was just it's nailing so many things right off the bat. Wes, look at that knuckle bump, bro. I know that's a spoiler for everybody, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh fuck, man, this game is good, dude. It's got a knuckle bump, and I love it.
I called it. I called it, Roots, into my video. As soon as I did that, I was like, man, Roots is going to love this.
Yeah, they didn't even make me wait. It was right off the bat. I got to know that I was going to be friends with this guy, and he's so cute. And it just feels good. The environments are good. And at least I've only played the first level. That's all I can talk about. And the game gets released on what, Thursday? Then we can do a real deep dive on it for sure.
Mark Williamson joining the chat says now Roots' sync is out.
Oh, what the? Are you kidding me? Are you? No, don't.
He's the only one that has said it. So
Okay.
we'll wait for confirmation. A new name I haven't recognized before. So what's up, Mark Williamson? Thanks for joining us there. Hopefully you're a bit of a troll,
Yeah.
but we'll find out soon enough, I guess,
Well,
huh?
what's funny is if I would have seen Spry Guy say that, I would have been like, okay, he's messing with me. But maybe it is. Maybe it's off, and now I have some OCD I gotta fix as well. But yeah, and Jim Hall's in the house. What's up, Jim Hall? It's good to see you, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Jim Hall, Techno Glitch 666 says no, so I'm assuming that means that you're all good.
Okay.
Sammy D OFG says that everything looks good, so we're all good. Gamer Chick 13 in the house. Good to see you, Tiffany. Stephen McDougal, what's up? Over G's, Spry Guy, Mash Daddy Cool, Sauron, the Dark Lord Sauron
Ooh,
is
Sauron.
in the
Yeah.
chat.
I'm like, I.
Bill B, Nito Burrito, Slay Blaze, Radio Runt, a cast of tens, Roots.
Yeah, you missed the most important one there. Says Michelle Dillon says looks good. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. I always love to see you in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. She's always lurking, by the way. Even when she's not chatting, she's in there watching. If she's not sleeping, sometimes she has to crash out for the Monday
Hmm.
slash Tuesday show, but she's generally in there on Sunday.
I'll tell you what, when you start a show at midnight, I'd be sleeping too. If I'm not doing it, what am I doing up at midnight, bro? So,
But anyway, I do have to work tomorrow, so that is going to push the Monday show back into Tuesday again this week. The Monday show, our last officially scheduled episode of the year. Not that we won't do another impromptu video here and there. Probably, almost definitely going to do some more gameplays. Having fun doing that this past week, but I'm kind of okay with going with the Tuesday show this week, Roots, because we have so much that we're going to be talking about as far as games that we're playing. I kind of want to get some more time in. I played the Medal of Honor, but I'm still in that 2 hour window that everyone says you need to get out of. So I kind of want to play it some more before I talk about it anyway.
Mm.
And going on Tuesday is going to give me the opportunity to do that.
I love how everybody's like saying that. Wow, it's a 2 hour window, man. Like that window isn't enough. So I have thoughts on that as well. But who was it? Somebody was saying they're from Scott McDougal, I think. Stephen McDougal's from Scotland, bro. He said hi from Scotland, so I'm excited, man. We got people from Scotland here. I have no idea what time it is there, but I'm assuming it's not 10 a.m.
So this was the best part of us going back to an early show, Roots, because we were doing evenings there for a little while on both Sunday and Monday, and it kind of was cutting Europe out of the fold.
Mm,
So when we see guys like Mr. McDougal here showing up and saying hello from Scotland, it really just affirms our decision to go back
yeah.
to the early Sunday.
And you have a wide awake roots. Like I got a good night's sleep. I'm just drank of almost a full pot of coffee. That was the worst part about the early show, like the early on days, was you, me, Alex, and Main Fan. Well, I guess it wasn't so much when Main Fan was there, but we used to do our show so late, right? Like late, 2 a.m. and stuff, and
Right.
especially when it got to just us. And I no matter what I did, I was always tired when I was doing the show, and I think it translates, right? So
Yeah, it does sometimes, and until you get used to it,
yeah,
like this guy right here.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But anyway, tons to talk about. Again, Monday show on Tuesday. Probably going to kind of start the proceedings for the 2020 show on Monday. Uh, I don't know that we'll have the entire list of award categories finalized by Tuesday, but we'll talk about some of the more common ones, maybe some of the ones that we're going to carry over from last year. And maybe just kind of start the discussion there. And we're going to be counting on you guys. We need you guys to click the invitation to our Discord down in the description, because between now and the end of the year, we're going to all just kind of be debating and putting forth our opinions on these different award categories. And there's going to be a lot of awards. There's going to be, and we're not like, again, we try to do things differently here. And we try to do everything pretty much uh, in our own way. So it's kind of an open vote. We're not going to give you X, Y, or Z games to choose from. We're not going to tell you what the game of the year is. We're asking you to tell us what the game of the year is. And then we're going to kind of throw our 2 cents in on it. And then at the end of the day, we're going to come to some kind of conclusion. So we're just going to have open ended award categories just like last year. And your nomination for the category is also your vote for the category. So we're going to ask you guys to, go into the 2020 show channel on our Discord after we get it up. Still going to be a couple days because the category nominations are still up right now because I don't know enough about Discord to make it a private channel. But the in a few days, we'll have a finalized list of all of the categories, and then we're going to ask you guys to just in a very open format go on there and give us the award category and who you think should win it. And then at the end of the year, Roots and I will tally up all this stuff. We'll kind of debate amongst ourselves, maybe get the patrons involved with the process a little bit, and then select some winners and Roots some pretty prestigious awards to be handed out during the 2020 show.
Yeah, and some keys. Now, I will tell you this, Wes. You said, and you alluded like maybe, but I think it's got to be a solidified, has to happen. Because I'm already hearing excitement from the Patreon, a couple of Patreons that are like, five, Mash Daddy. He said he was super excited to be a part of the that discussion, right? So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, what we did last year is we held a little meeting in big screen. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be big screen, but we'll do something similar this year. I kind of feel like if we go anywhere else, we might get distracted. Like, could you imagine trying to decipher this whole thing while we're in like the wave or something?
No, yeah. Well, the funny thing is this is what Mash Daddy was. I was telling him maybe everybody could be in the big screen, but we would just have everybody muted. So they would be there, they would hear us talking, and they could move around the room or whatever. Remember last time I was teleporting all over the place, just because I have to move. But then it would be very distracting to have 10 people all trying to chime in and distract Roots.
It'd be cool if it was something like Zoom. Like if we were on Zoom, I could call on people,
Hmm,
and we wouldn't all be just like talking over
that's
one
true.
another. We could kind of moderate it that way. But
That's
I
true.
don't know. We'll figure something out cool to do to get the patrons that want to be involved in the process. And the important thing is the point is we're going to kick all this stuff off on the Monday show this week. So after we talk about these games, we'll kind of talk about a few of the bigger awards, the ones we know we're going to have, right? The game of the year type stuff, and kind of get the chat's thoughts on a few of these things, and then we'll end up, coming to some conclusion
Hmm.
on the 2020 show.
Well, I don't want to give anything away, Wes, but I've already decided my game of the year, and I've never even tried it yet. But it's free on Viveport. It's Ashi Wash, and it involves feet and in VR. Who doesn't want to mess with feet in VR? Um,
Oh, dude, I saw another one. I didn't write it down. Give me half a second. I saw a cool looking title on Oculus store today, and and it looked like something straight out of Viport, and I almost bought it. But
wow, you almost
those,
bought it. Wow. You know what? I almost bought out of the Oculus Quest store, and I keep having to stop myself. It's like paper dolls or paper something or other. It's another like little experience, animated thing, and people are saying it's really cool. Um, I'm just really tight on money
the
right now. $5 is $5, bro.
yeah, that thing just came out. I'm not real familiar with the details about it, but I do know that it's pretty new.
Okay, it looks cool. So
How much is you say it's $5?
yeah, it's $5. Hussein X says he nearly suggested Ashi Wash for as a joke. You know what? We're gonna have categories for that too. We may have the most ridiculous title category or named thing, but it would be something like I don't even know what would it be, Wes? Because we seem to.
Well, I don't want to offend any of our platform holders, so
Oh,
I'm
that's
just
true.
going to
That's
keep it
true.
to myself.
Yeah, we'll keep it to ourselves.
Uh,
But you know what we're thinking. It's 2020.
yeah, we all know what we're thinking here.
Yeah, just a tribute motive. So,
China number one.
mm,
Let's see here, man. Not to give away free stuff and killer deals a little early, but the Oculus Link store. I think they're going to be the winner again this week, man. Great sale going on Oculus right now.
uh,
Makes you kind of feel like they're winding down the
mm,
days of the Oculus Rift because everything's like cheap now, and like even they marked down the Oculus Rift S $100 this week. You can
uh,
get an Oculus Rift S for $300 now, Roots.
that's crazy. You know, Bill B says he's creating a Quest 2 indie game. What is the most overlooked genre, in our opinion? Hearing a little echo on myself.
Man, I mean, we've got so many great games in so many different genres. It's really kind of hard to pick a genre.
Sports.
But I will say this. Well, yeah, sports are kind of hard to do though.
Mm,
Uh, we're always looking for co-op gameplay. Like we like a good story-based campaign to make our way through, but I want to bring a friend with me. There's not enough of that sort of thing. All of my favorite games, like the Half-Life Alexes and the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, all of these, even stuff like In Death Unchained, all of these games, or like Jupitergrad, all of these games, as awesome as they are, would be next level if I could bring Roots along with me, not in some kind of tacked on, mode, but the actual main gameplay loop. So I would say if I could have my wish list for any type of game in VR, it would be a standard story based campaign, whether that be a shooter or a puzzle game, what have you, but a standard story based campaign that is designed around having two or more people take or participate in it.
yeah, I agree. Any co-op is good. add guns, and I have fun. So
I can't find this game, man. It has disappeared as quickly as it came, Roots. But it was like it was something Ninja Warrior, but it was like I had a bunch of other stuff tacked to the Ninja Warrior.
mm.
But I've lost it, Roots. Oh, here it is. Time traveling Navy SEAL Ninja Warrior.
Oh, okay. Well, time traveling Navy SEAL. You got to be specific. It sounds cool. I mean, if you must have, the gameplay must look decent if you almost bought
Oh,
it, right?
I didn't. I didn't even click into it. I was just going on title and price. $2.67 for time traveling Navy SEAL Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good deal for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean that's a lot to. I mean that's a lot of dreams to live out in VR, right?
Yeah.
All at the same time.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway, time is a waste, and let's get into some news here. We've already said hello to our friends in chat, so let's get right to it, Roots. And you know, who would think? Here we stand at the last episode of 2020, as we're signing off for the year with our news program, that we would be leading off our show with Arizona Sunshine. And I've got to kind of uh, take a step back with Arizona Sunshine. We kind of have counted the demise of Arizona Sunshine prematurely on many, many occasions here. And as I sit here at the end of this, great year in VR, I gotta say, Roots, I have a newfound respect for this game. I feel like this is that this is an underappreciated classic in VR. And coming into this year, knowing that Contagion Outbreak was getting ready to release, knowing that The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners and The Walking Dead Onslaught was coming, that I didn't think that there was any chance in hell that Arizona Sunshine would still be a viable, relevant game at the end of this year. And I got to say, Roots, here we are on the other side of everything I just mentioned, and still to this day, there's nothing in VR that does what Arizona Sunshine does as well as Arizona Sunshine does it. And it's interesting, Roots. We thought it would be dead by now. Not only is it not dead, but they're adding a new mode into it uh, right now. Pretty much. I mean, they're adding a new mode into it. It's a horror mode, a co-op mode, but it's new content nonetheless for one of the oldest titles in VR.
Yeah, it's funny. I was so wrong, Wes, just like you were, in this respect, because I had written it off. We pretty much, I mean, we literally were talking about that its days are numbered. It's going to have to drop its price. Like, I mean, we had all sorts of slews of things that I guess let's start the I'm sorry segment right now. I'm sorry. I was wrong. But I didn't realize it, Wes, until I got into the co-op with you. And then we had such a good time. And I was like, well, shit, dude, this is like better than a lot of the times I've had in a lot of the other zombie games. And this is a game that we wrote off. And it's like we said, it's that magic of co-op. And they're still adding stuff, man. This is an all new map. They could have done this and they could have used already existing levels, right? They didn't have to give us a new trailer park. We needed a trailer park, bro. And I think one of the coolest things about this whole thing is like they're bringing this out and they're kicking it off with a contest, right? Like they're giving you a reason to go in here right off the bat and try to beat gamertag and BMF and just rock it, right?
Yeah, well, just for those of you who don't know, I guess we should start at the beginning where we're kind of hitting the road at a million miles an hour here. So there's a new level, like we mentioned, coming to Arizona Sunshine next week. It is the trailer park horde mode level. It's a cooperative level it's a scoreboard style thing that you participate in with a friend, like we were just talking about a moment ago. We like having stuff like this, but the update is coming only to Oculus Quest next week, coming to PCVR and PlayStation VR early next year. And the way Vertigo Games is promoting this new update is by having a contest. And it's not just with our friends Gamertag and Matt BMF, but they've picked, I think, 3 or 4 different pairs of content creators for different levels of the Horde mode, and they each set their high score. And the way it works is you go in, there's a challenge function on the Oculus Quest version of Arizona Sunshine. You click the challenge, and then you and a friend try to tackle the leaderboard. At the end of this thing, which incidentally I think might happen to be tomorrow, it wasn't a very long entry period at all, but whenever that may be, tomorrow, I think, at the end of the whole thing, whoever's on top of that leaderboard, each of these levels, each member will receive an Oculus Quest 2. And I think that that's pretty awesome. That's very attainable. Not to talk trash on GT or anything, but that's a very attainable goal to get an awesome prize. So when I first heard about this, Roots, I was excited. Yeah, as you know, like I have spent countless hours in this game with my daughter, with my sons, with my wife. We're crack shots at Arizona Sunshine. So when I heard that I could play a horde mode map, and if I take the one spot on the leaderboard, one of my kids could win their own quest, and I mean that would be two, wouldn't it? It'd be two quests that we would win. So we could have like three of us here, like ready to
Wow.
go with the multiplayer. So I was all about it, all ready to go, and then we read the fine print, and it's only on the Oculus Quest version, which
Mm.
is odd, Roots, because in order to win an Oculus Quest, you got to have an Oculus Quest. So yeah, it kind of shot down our hopes and dreams, but I found that a little strange.
Okay, so is it, well, I guess you could still team up with somebody else. You just don't have your crack shot team with you. And don't even look at me because I'm going to
I
pull you
think
down
both
and
both
lose.
members, yeah, both members have to be in Oculus
Well,
Quest
that's what I'm
to do
saying.
it.
Like you could get somebody else. You could like have your side of the team. You just can't bring your crack shot kid with you that you knew you guys were going to own it. So my
Yep.
suggestion is run to Walmart, buy another Quest real quick. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I was thinking the same thing, Wes. I was like, how ironic is it that like the people that are like chomping at the bit to get a Quest 2, they don't have one. I had a couple people in my stream stop by last night that don't even have VR yet. And we're like, oh my God, they're looking to get into VR. Wouldn't that be an amazing thing for them? Obviously, they couldn't play the game, but even if you were in PC and you wanted to try Quest, kind of sucks that you're not able to do that. But I mean, it's their
Well,
contest, their rules, and they're giving
in
away.
fairness, in fairness, for those people out there who aren't able to participate in the leaderboard challenge, they are having a Gleam giveaway as well. So
Mm,
you can click a link, do a few little tasks on the internet, and you'll get your name put into the hat, and they're going to pick
oh,
a
okay.
winner there as well. So
Oh,
it's
cool.
not it's not just a leaderboard contest, but they're doing a drawing as well.
Oh, sweet. So there's something for everybody, because I've thought, just like you said, you'd like to get one and give to your kids. If I won one, I'd give it to my dad. So just because I know he's like a huge Mist fan. I'm surprised he doesn't own the Quest 2 already, because he was all about to go, and he wanted to get the Quest, but something held him off. Maybe it was me, but Quest 2.
You know what the funny thing is I've refrained for this long from buying Arizona Sunshine standalone version because I already own like 3 or 4 copies of it on other platforms, and I just wasn't about to go drop $40 on it to have it on Quest. But here I am. I'd really love to be able to participate just to go up. My competitive nature. Uh, I feel like I could do some damage on some of these things. Uh, but I don't have a copy of the game.
Mm. Well, maybe somebody that's really good at this game, they want to win. They know you're good. They'll gift you a copy, and then you
I
guys
gotta
can
work. I
join
gotta
up.
work. I gotta work. I gotta go to work. I can't do it. Don't no save your money. I gotta go to work after the show today. I gotta work tomorrow, and I think tomorrow's the last day of the thing. So
You could call in sick. No, I'm just kidding.
I
Um,
could do that.
yeah, lose money to make money. That's cool.
You know what they'll do though? If I call in sick, they're gonna make me get tested, and it's gonna be a
Oh
whole
yeah,
ordeal.
yeah. Well, that's the. Is it worth the quest? And then you don't win it, and you're like, oh shit, I went through, got that thing shoved up my nose for no reason. Hell no.
Delirium Drew says he can't spend $15 for the PC version, let alone 40 for the Quest version.
Well, and that's the thing, man. And I guess it is smart in that respect. I mean, maybe the sales of this game aren't as good as they want because so many people already own it on the other platforms, and now they're giving people an incentive to invest in the game. I mean, it's worth $40 if you don't have it on the Quest.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's worth it just as a co-op title alone.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's cool. I'm excited that this contest exists, even though I probably won't be in doing it. So
Gamer Chick 13 says she finally got her PC roots.
oh, nice. So she's ready for the Phasmophobia.
I'm still a virgin, Tiffany. We still haven't gone in. So just saying.
You know who else? Oh, and I can't even pretend that she's a virgin.
My mom!
I can't even.
Alakazam says it'd be cool if B Haptics would support Arizona Sunshine. You know, I'd be surprised if it didn't. I mean, again, this is a classic VR title, an underrated VR title, and I got to imagine. I mean, most peripherals that come out have this handful of staple titles that it supports, and Arizona Sunshine is one of those. So I got to imagine that it probably does support it in some fashion.
Yeah. Well, okay. So get on it, people. You could win this quest too. You could give it to somebody as a friend that and get them into VR. This could be your chance to get your friend in.
True that, man. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here. And you know what's funny is the $40 that to buy the title is a pretty significant chunk of what you'd have to pay to buy one of these headsets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, let's stop talking about these old ancient VR titles roots and let's move on to something a little bit more current. And I'm talking, of course, about Superhot VR. What Superhot VR? Roots, didn't Superhot VR come out 4 years ago?
Yeah, and that's what's crazy is like you had me fooled there. I thought maybe we were skipping scenes, or maybe I was like, oh shit, this is an old school game, and you tricked me, Wes.
Well, no, you heard me right, friends. 4 years after its initial launch onto PCVR, Superhot VR just got an all new update. The Boxing Day update adds in a newly themed endless game mode. The new map has just a touch of Christmas cheer to it, making exploding someone's head a bit more festive. The update is live now across all of the game's many versions, including PC, PlayStation VR, and Oculus Quest. The developer has also added a handful of other improvements with the patch, including a new in game pause menu with the ability to switch between multiple save files, new brightness options, and further stability improvements. On Steam VR, you'll have two choices of control schemes if you're playing on HTC Vive, and everyone now has the ability to exit out of the endless and guests modes. So, Roots, uh, Arizona Sunshine, not the only classic VR title finding new life. Here we have Superhot VR giving us a new endless mode, but I'm confused because didn't we already have an endless mode on Superhot?
I thought so, but you know what's funny is I thought there was going to be another contest because this is another game that I've been reluctant to buy on Quest, and if they gave me a Quest 2, I'll go buy it, and well maybe I wouldn't, but I could do the leaderboards and everything. It's cool that they're still breathing life into this, but what about Super Hot 2 or Super Cold or whatever the sequel that may never exist because they keep making this game better and better, right?
Yeah, I hesitated putting it on the format today, Ruth, because as much as I love these developers and I love to see the devs do well, I want people to stop buying super hot roots. Stop buying super hot, people. If you keep buying it, they're never going to make a sequel because why would they make a sequel? If people are, I mean, this game literally roots, and it's so good. It's a great game. Uh, it's one of the best in VR. But I mean, it shows because it's at the top of the sales, regardless of platform, month after month, year after year. People are still buying super hot. Roots, I didn't think there were this many people in VR to keep this thing at the top of the sales list perpetually. But that this is the case. Like there's a few titles like Super Hot, Beat Saber that are up there every week or month rather. And Superhot's probably the oldest among them, and it's still selling tons of copies. And that just really goes to show you the state of VR today. We must have really a lot of new users coming in. because people continue to buy this game.
Oh, absolutely. We got so many users coming in, West, that I'm still finding when I ask people in Population One, like every day, there's people, oh, this is my first game. This is my first couple games. I just got the Quest. You know what? One of the things that is very telling, especially in a multiplayer game, the lobbies for Population One during the peak hours are now about 5 seconds. Like you get in, and then 5 seconds later, you're in the game. And I've never had a lobby be that quick in VR for any multiplayer game. And it's just still there's still people coming in, and all of these people that have played that are buying the new headsets. I guarantee this is one of the games they're picking up. But almost every single one says, "Oh, I got this game and Beat Saber." Like Beat Saber is there, bro. It is like fucking tied to the headset somehow, some way. People buy it, and then their first thought is, "I need to buy Beat Saber," even if they've never seen it. They just suddenly buy it, and they don't understand why. There's some kind of mojo, some kind of magic going on here, but it's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's one of those things. That's the game they've all heard of, right? So it must be the best,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And people constantly, and it's a difficult thing because people are asking me all the time. I'm new to VR. What should I play? And immediately you want to put them on the best games, like Saints and Sinners and stuff like this. But you never know when that might be a little much for a beginner.
Mm.
Some beginners are sensitive to this thing, so you kind of have to take a step back and think, what is intense enough to really elicit some kind of a response out of even the most hardcore gamer, yet tame enough to keep the people who are sensitive to the motion sickness from getting sick. So it's a bit of a song and dance that you have to go through, and generally, what people end up settling on in this very same scenario is Superhot VR because it's the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have to, it's kind of like we have to put ourselves, as adults, when you become an adult, some people have a hard time remembering what it was like to be a kid, right? And so as a parent, that's the best thing. If you can remember, like, okay, I remember that. It's not that big a deal type of thing. Same thing with these, we have to remember our inner child in VR and what blew us away 3 years ago, 2 years ago, what was cool. Beat Saber now, it's like, okay, it's old for us, but for somebody new, especially somebody that's watched all the trailers, they've seen the videos, and for a year they've dreaming about VR. They've dreamed about Beat Saber, and then there's some dickhead that wants to go rip that dream out from underneath them. You know what I mean? Hey, dude, you're new, you don't know shit. This game sucks. And I would submit that maybe it's somebody's favorite game, and it's amazing for its own right. It may not be for us anymore, but it still is valid for them. So
Yeah, dude. I mean, the cast of a millions don't lie, right? I mean, people love that game. So
yep,
who are we to poo poo on what they like?
yeah. And if you're new to VR and Super Hot is your new game and your jam, I will warn you, just be careful. You will have the tendency to break something. Like I'm not gonna break anything anymore. I'm not punching a wall. I'm done with that nonsense. But if you're new, this is one of those games that gets very easy to forget where you're at. And next thing you know, you're punching something. So
Make sure that Guardian is set correctly, right?
yeah, what was it? Somebody in the Discord last year punched their kid or something, bro. Like that was like the worst story to hear about. Like, oh, I can't imagine.
Could you imagine like knocking your kid's teeth out or something playing
Well,
VR?
imagine the emergency room conversation. Like I guarantee you're getting inspected and looked at a little bit sideways.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. I just wanted to inform people that there is new content in Super Hot. So I mean, if you're really looking for an excuse to get back in it, here you go. I don't know. I guess the scoring and the structure of this endless mode is a little different than the other endless mode. Not to mention the Christmas cheer.
Mm.
But still one of the best, funnest games in VR, and it's a game that you can just pick up and play for a few minutes and put down, which I always appreciate.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about Vertigo 2 Roots. Zalubo Productions just released the first new Vertigo 2 gameplay in well over a year. Zach T. Brown debuted over 2 minutes of gameplay via Twitter this past week, at the same time confirming that the title is being delayed until 2021. Vertigo 2 was revealed last year alongside a playable demo, and we've heard nothing else on the title since, despite a remastered version of the original Vertigo seeing a surprise release earlier this year. So here we are, Roots. Everybody kind of wondering about Vertigo 2 and what happened to it. Uh, no worries, though. It is still in development, uh, just like so many other titles that we were expecting to see late this year. Just got pushed back a little bit, but alive and well. And by judging from this footage, Roots, this is one to look forward to.
Oh, absolutely. You mean you're giving Zach more time to perfect his game? I'll take the time and I'll enjoy the game when it comes out. Because the first one blew me away. We weren't expecting the remastered, and the remastered was so good that I can only imagine how cool this one's going to be. I think it may even
So
give Boneworks a run for its money. To be honest, you know.
you took the words right out of my mouth. There's a lot that I like about this that really strikes me in the mind of Boneworks. But a lot of the things I don't like about Boneworks are not present here. Like this game seems a lot easier to play than Boneworks does, and uh, not that I'm not for someone that's up for a good challenge. I really like to play hard games. I just don't like it when games are hard to play, and Boneworks is kind of that for me. It's a title that's probably, I mean, maybe the most immersive game I've ever played, Boneworks, but it's also one of the most difficult games to play that I've ever played. Not from a challenge level, but just from the overdone uh, game physics.
And that's the thing that I think most VR games haven't really nailed yet is that ease of use. Like one of the reasons why we love playing certain games is they just feel good. I'll use an example. Dying Light, when it first came out, had a completely different scheme of moving around. I think they used the bumper to climb or something, and it was very bizarre. But it once you got used to it, it felt so good. You wished every game was like that. And what you don't want your game to be is to feel like it's work or it's awkward. And climbing in Boneworks, my God, that is the most awkward thing I have ever done. Even if they just patched it today and they just took away your arms and just gave you the hands, gave you a chance to get rid of which some games do, I think that alone would make it that much better. So Boneworks devs, listen to Roots, change that, and I'm sure you're sitting on your seat waiting for my suggestions. Uh,
Just the interactions in the game just feel weird. It kind of gives you this drunk feeling because everything you pick up, like anything that you pick up, it kind of has this sway to it, right?
mm,
And I understand that they're trying to give the items weight in the game, and they've done a very, very effective job of that. But if you're trying to make something realistic, I don't pick up a little toy and have it sway in my hand every time I pick it up. And it's kind of the way that things are in Boneworks. Plus, um, we've talked about it a million times how they don't compensate for your being able to feel in real life. Like in real life, if you open a drawer, you can feel when the drawer is all the way open and stop pulling on it. Well, you can't feel that in VR, so they need to have your character automatically stop pulling on things. But instead, what they do is have you pulling over cabinets trying to open drawers because that they haven't compensated for the VR difference, so
Well,
to speak.
couldn't they? Absolutely, they could just add a something to the controller that like a clunk. You could feel it like when you hit it, and it would stop, and you could feel it kind of like in real life, right? You'd feel it
Uh,
stop. I'm sure they could do it, but I don't know.
yeah, but anyway, that's where a game like Vertigo 2 comes in because it has a lot of the same immersiveness that that Boneworks has to it. It has that cool sci-fi, almost Half-Life esque vibe to it, but the gameplay loop, it seems a lot more fast-paced and fun. Plus, Roots, I'm a sucker for a weird game, and Vertigo is weird AF.
Yeah, and it's got and it had a good story. Vertigo, the remastered, so I would imagine this one's going to be really cool. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of ashamed to admit that I still haven't played the demo to this. I played Vertigo Remastered, but I still never played this, popular Vertigo 2 demo. I probably should.
I tried it, a little bit of it, but I should go back. I'm thinking about playing through Vertigo remastered and actually finishing it. So
Oh, maybe a good way to kick off next year with the backlog report, huh?
yeah, absolutely, for
We
sure.
have an opportunity to really hit the backlog hard after we get 2020 show behind us. And then we could come back into the Monday show with a vengeance, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Vertigo 2 coming. I got to imagine. I mean, he didn't say whether it be early 2021 or late, but I mean, this thing's been in development for years at this point. I got to imagine that we're going to see it early next year, right?
Yeah. Well, remember, remastered just dropped out of nowhere. It's like all of a sudden it was just there. So I kind of feel like that's going to happen with this one. So I would be surprised if it's anywhere past, the probably the first quarter. So
VR Spraga says Roots is not finishing Vertigo remastered while the Pop One servers are up.
I don't know, Spry Guy. Yesterday was a eye-opening. Dude, people are getting sweaty in that game, bro. And like I spent more time dead than alive, and it was very frustrating. So hopefully my next few games are a little bit better, or you might just find me in this game forever. I'll never go back to Pop One.
Here we are sitting at the end of our third topic on the show. We've talked about Vertigo Remastered. We've talked about Arizona Sunshine. We've talked about Superhot Roots, all of which are part of the Viport Infinity catalog. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. Well, Vertigo Remastered definitely is one of the best games on there, in my opinion.
Agreed. But let's move on. Let's talk about something that's not a classic VR game. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the gallery, which is another classic, in my opinion, one of the most classic PC VR puzzlers that there is. Roots, do you find it strange that we haven't had a port of the gallery onto other platforms yet?
I do actually, especially I would imagine that we would see it for this quest, right? Like it's another viable resource, right? Or game that they could be putting on there.
Yeah, with the new quest, you would think so. Now, with the original quest, I think it would probably struggle to run it because even to this day, the Gallery Episode 2 is one of the most beautiful games in VR. If you haven't tried it, it's called Heart of the Emberstone, and it is absolutely stunning, jaw dropping beautiful. This game even today.
So you know what's ironic, Wes, and that this is what Scion says he's waiting for Mist for the PC VR, right? Because he doesn't want the questical graphics. So a lot of people feel like the games are getting held back by the Quest 2. Well, I want to know what games are getting held back from Quest 1. Like, because like you said, like a lot of these games are coming out, or maybe they think, oh, we should bring it over. And they're like, oh shit, we can't because it has to play on both. Or they want it to play on both. Like, I think at some point they need to like decide that, okay, sorry, Quest 1 owners, but fuck Quest 1 owners. Um, upgrade. You should have done what Root said right off the bat. Nobody should be owning the Quest 1 anymore. You should go sell it and buy the Quest 2, unless that's all you can get.
Or at the very least, they should be just totally marathoning Arizona Sunshine right now, trying to get that. I
Yes.
mean, they're giving away like 10 quests.
Yeah, you need the
Get
Quest.
in there and get one of those.
Yeah, so it's an easy upgrade, but I think at some point we are actually looking at things being held back because of that first model. Now the good news is that Oculus clearly doesn't give a fuck. At some point they're going to just say, they keep just everything goes down. Rift S, you're done. You're done. Quest 1, you're done. This, they're essentially running around like Donald Trump saying you're fired to all these different things and you're out of here, bro. There is no more Rift store which we think is coming in another year or so. But so maybe it's the time to kind of distance himself from the Quest 1.
I think that you're absolutely right here. I think that we've got ourselves another classic PlayStation 4 Pro scenario, but this time it's Quest versus Quest 2, and the original Quest holding it back. But the only difference is that Facebook don't quite have the scruples that Sony has, and they're not going to stick with the Quest 1.
Mm.
They'll carry it over, but it won't last a year. Roots, mark my words, 6 to 9 months and we'll start to see Quest 2 exclusives. And I think that that's when you might feasibly see a game like the Gallery make its way to the much more powerful Quest 2. Um, but why are we talking about the Gallery? Well, Cloudhead Games, the developer behind both the Gallery Episode 1 and 2, as well as Pistol Whip, by the way, they recently held an AMA session on Reddit. And while most of the questions during the AMA did revolve around Pistol Whip and its newly released cinematic campaign, Pistol Whip 2089, naturally, the Gallery had to come up. It's been over 2 years since the team made any mention of the series, with the Gallery Episode 1, Call of the Starseed, releasing in 2016 for the arrival of the HTC Vive, while the Gallery Episode 2, Heart of the Emberstone, arrived 1 year later. However, the team is now firmly focused on Pistol Whip, with some major advancements in both the industry and VR technology required before the studio will consider the much uh, the much anticipated third episode to the Gallery. So, we've talked about it a lot, Roots, uh, since we've started this channel pretty much. We want the Gallery Episode 3. It's a very compelling story that they're telling here in a high quality VR game that they just kind of let drop off the map. And with the success of Pistol Whip, we kind of suspected that we might never see the conclusion to the Gallery. And from what I'm seeing here, Roots, I feel like that seems to be the direction that we're going in.
Yeah, they kind of made you think, maybe, but probably not going to happen, right? Um,
Probably not.
that's all right though. I mean, if they're still making amazing games like Pistol Whip or new games, that's the thing. I just as much as I don't want new Superhot levels, I want a new Superhot. I want a new game from Cloudhead Games. For me anyway, because I know people are loving the hell out of Pistol Whip. I'm over it. But I mean, I don't own it, so if I had it, I'd probably be playing 2089 every day. I don't know.
Anyway, we did get some words from these guys at Cloudhead regarding a possible third episode of the Gallery. But what time is it?
Quote time, I
It
think.
is quote time. And our first series of quotes here comes from Cloudhead Games writer and designer Anthony Stevens. He says, quote, "The gallery holds a really special place in our hearts, and of course we would love to return to it at some point. But we really do need the market to be bigger first. The way I see it, the next time there's a massive innovation in VR, the same way room scale and hand tracking reinvented the medium, episode 3 would make the perfect candidate as a quote, next gen experience. That said, as the Quest lineup gets more powerful, maybe there's a chance for a Quest version as well. Nothing official is in the works, but it's still my dream to return to the series in some way." Um, so, Roots, basically what they're saying here is that a gallery episode 3 would be such an undertaking. And you could tell by looking at the first two that they really put a lot of time and resources into developing it. And they probably didn't get the kind of return on their investment that they were hoping for. So, you know, as I like to do, reading between these lines here, what I'm hearing them say is before we invest that type of time and resources in a project again, we're going to have to be able to make our money back.
Yeah. Well, it's a different time. The early on days, it was hard to get people, and there wasn't the pool of people, and you're not putting it out on the Quest 2. That would help. But I mean, let's be honest, making money is key, and they're probably with as slow as the first two episodes were comparatively to Pistol Whip. They're probably now just feeling like, okay, we're going somewhere, we're selling shit, we're growing, and they want to put out another Pistol Whip or a game, that's going to do that well, and they don't know for sure, I guess. Is there's a little uncertainty, right, about these titles, as well as how they've done in the past. And they've had I mean, most of you can't get this game without getting it cheap anymore. It's been around for so long too, so it's not like they're making much money off the sales of them now anymore. So
I kind of agree with their sentiment, though, that this would make a good kind of showcase for next gen technology. But I got to kind of push back a little bit on them when they say that we haven't had that technology that's as revolutionary as like room scale, because I would contend that standalone VR is that technology, that it is that big of a game changer for VR. And they really kind of missed the bus here. If they were looking for that next iteration of VR, it's already came and went.
yeah, that's true. That's very true. So I agree 100%.
They continue, quote, I know there's a bunch of us in the studio that would love to close out the trilogy, but we really want it to be grand. If VR tips over and mainstream adoption becomes sustainable for big games like the Gallery, I think an episode 3 could be on the table for the future. So basically, they're saying what they're trying to say here is there's a certain level of kind of grandness and quality that they would expect the conclusion of the gallery to have, and it would be no small undertaking. And in order for them to go in that direction, that VR really has a long way to go in terms of not only technology but as a marketplace for them to justify such an investment.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with it as well. Although I would like as Scion said, he wants to see Gallery 3, not more Pistol Whip, and I'm totally in agreement with that. Wes, I don't know what's going on in the chat, and it's been going on in Discord for a couple days, and it's been blowing my mind. But people are saying Walkabout Mini Golf is the most essential VR game ever, which I've played and I really enjoy it. But this is what's going to blow your mind, Wes. Radio Runt said yesterday in my stream that it is better than Audica.
Whoa, he said that.
Yeah, that was his exact words. And so I'm starting to feel like I'm missing the boat, even though I played one round, streamed it with a bunch of people, and we had a lot of fun. But apparently, it even drew Tiffany away from my stream yesterday. She went to go play Walkabout Mini Golf because my computer, I had to restart it, and I came back, she was gone, MIA. She was golfing, bro. So it must be really good.
VR Spry guy says Radio Rent said he was kidding.
What? Oh shit, dude! Oh my god! For 24 hours, I thought he lost his mind, bro.
I was on my way to buy that title. Like I had made my mind up at that point. Like if he's saying that, then this game must be outstanding.
It is good though. I will tell you, it is definitely a must own for me on the Quest, and it is cross buy, and it's the best mini golf game I've ever played, and I've never had more fun trolling the people I played with. Even if you're just like, you can get bigger and you can like look at the overview, right, of everything else, and you can see what's going on, but you can like reach your hand down there and like put a big hand in front of people when they're trying to, which you usually don't do that, but we had a lot of fun.
You know who loves it when you reach your hand down there, Roots?
God, I didn't know that about her.
My mom!
That was another thing, Wes. And I know we haven't ever talked about merch, and eventually we'll get some merch because we're that good. But we thought somebody had suggested something. We thought of a good idea, and it'd be like, who else watches Virtual Strangers? And then you'd have my mom, either a cup, a T-shirt. Let us know if you think that's.
I was thinking that we would have a shirt that says, "Do you know who else has this shirt?"
Oh, that would work as well too. Yeah. But let us know what you think. I think we're at the time now where I need to be drinking out of a cup with me on it, and I need to be wearing a virtual stranger shirt, and then I'll be.
Well, didn't you get the Roots
Mhm.
double thumbs up cup?
It's taken forever, Wes. It's being made in the UK, and I think we're on day 5 or day 6 of production. I don't know what's going on, but I'm waiting for it. I need my cup. So instead of having this, I'll have a one with Roots on it.
Well, uh, I think that we could probably make a pretty penny selling those Roots coffee mugs.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody's itching for them.
Or we could just have like the whole coffee mug be like a thumbs up, like the YouTube thumbs up, and the handle be like the thumb or something.
Yeah, there's so many ideas out there.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about another puzzle game, Roots, and let's talk about a main fan special in Gadgeteer. Physics-based virtual reality puzzler Gadgeteer is available for most headsets, including Oculus Quest, leaving early access during the summer. The last major VR device not to feature support is PlayStation VR, but that is going to change next year, confirms developer Metanaut. In a Reddit post, Metanaut CEO Peter Cow made the announcement that the puzzle sandbox title is currently in the process of being ported to PlayStation VR, scheduled to arrive in Q1 2021. Gadgeteer offers a campaign of over 60 puzzles, as well as a fully featured sandbox mode, and the PSVR version is said to retail for $15. Roots, it's about time that this game comes to PlayStation VR. One of the most underrated puzzle games in VR, Gadgeteer. So much fun to play this, and it's such a well done game. And really, uh, I expected us to be talking about this PSVR port a year ago because I know I actually talked to the developer about it after he had ported the game into Quest. Really, all that was left was PlayStation VR, and I really got the idea that we weren't going to have to wait that long on it. But here we stand a year later, and we're finally getting word that it's coming at last to PlayStation VR. And I think it couldn't come at a better time as PSVR players. They need new games, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, too late, man. You missed the boat, but they didn't miss the boat at all. For two reasons. One, because there is really not that much coming out, and two, this is such a cool game. I equate it with something like Mousetrap back in the day, except for it's open ended. Like even just solving the puzzles, like it doesn't hold your hand after a while. Like you need to like this. It actually is, and this is why it's such a main fan special because it's a thinking person's puzzle game. I mean, there's a lot of ways to come at this. You know what I mean? And you have to build different things, and some of it there's just there's nothing to get to, and you have to use things that float. And I don't know, man. It was too much for me. Like I said, it's a thinking person's. I'm usually trying to stop myself from thinking because I think too much. And then I have a problem in the games. But I enjoy this game, and just watching the gameplay makes me realize that I probably need to pick this up on Quest because I want to play it, even though I don't do it. But like you said, you laid down in bed and you were like playing it, and it was perfectly fine. And it's such a cool game that I think he deserves my money. So I think I will be
Yeah,
picking it up.
the uh, the movement style of the game really lends itself. It's versatile, so you can really play it in any situation because it's kind of got that click and drag the world around you thing going on. So you can literally just lie motionless and kind of move the world around you and do what you need to do. So yeah, very effortless. It kind of is the opposite of what we were talking about with Boneworks earlier, where this game it's very easy to play, but it's not easy to win. It's not easy. It has a quite a challenge to it after you get past the first few rounds.
Mm.
Um, but it's easy to just kind of pick up and go with it, and that's why the sandbox people kind of dig the sandbox in this game, where you just kind of build your own Rube Goldberg style contraptions and kind of like playing Mousetrap in VR, right?
It's exactly and that's I love that game, and I think I My problem, Wes, is patience as I get older, and I need to. They say patience is a virtue. I need to get my patience back, because this is one of those games that would be great that like you get frustrated and you walk away from it for a few days, and then you come back, and you know what I mean. Like you keep coming back until you finally beat that level, and then you get to the next one. And I used to love that about games, and then now it's like I want to get, and I think it's the show because a lot of times I'm in the back of my mind, I'm thinking I need to get to something else. And so I don't have extra time to just sit there and try to figure things out. And then population one is just taking my life over. So that
Yeah.
also doesn't help.
Well, we're going to take some me time here, Roots. That's kind of the beauty of this whole end of the year deal. After we get the preparations done for the 2020 show, we're going to have a little period. It might not be very long, maybe a week, but we're going to have some time to just kind of do what we will, and then we're
Hmm.
going to come back to the drawing board and start all over again for 2021.
You know what? I'm gonna my New Year's resolution, and I'm gonna start it right now before the new year. Is I'm gonna play more or try to play more games. Like I want to finish some stuff, but I want to do it with my streams. I'm gonna do like Asgard's Wrath maybe, or Vertigo, or remastered, or just story driven games that just involves me, and then I can talk to the people. And sometimes it gets chaotic to try to control an environment with other people that you can't control. It just doesn't happen.
So maybe we kind of tailor our content to the idea of finishing games. I mean, we kind of have control over what we're doing. Maybe one of the games we talk about on Monday's show should be like a weekly progress report on some game that we're both trying to play through.
Mm.
So we pick some game, we give it 2 hours a week, and we talk about it every week. What kind of progress did we make through Asgard's Wrath or what have you, whatever the game may be.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think that's why the show keeps getting better and better. Wes's mind is always thinking extra stuff, man. You're always adding extra tidbits. That's why you're so
Yeah,
good.
I'm just trying to figure out a way to get to play these games.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like some of these ideas, like the Monday show and stuff, and like it's like, or the segments is like, okay, let's do a backlog report, so that we have a reason to go back to them. Brilliant.
Gamer Chick 13, daydreaming about her beloved ice cream bar
Mm.
and its creamy center.
Wow, you know who else is daydreaming about a creamy center?
My mom!
Uh,
Okay, so yeah, Gadgeteer coming to PlayStation VR early 2021. $15. I would be surprised, Roots, if this launches on PlayStation VR for $15. I'm not sure that our friend Peter understands how the Sony tax works yet.
it may be $20, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be worth $20, and I think you nailed it. It's going to sell really well because it's an amazing game and the timing is perfect. So.
Um, those guys, the PlayStation VR, I mean, they're so starved for content right now. I mean, they are eating up Swords of Gargantua, man. I saw Without Parole the other day, and they're just loving Swords of Gargantua. And this goes back to kind of what I was talking to. I mean, Peter from Gadgeteer, but so many of these smaller game developers, I tell them all the same thing. There's a higher barrier to entry to get into the PlayStation VR platform, but the community there is second to none. And those people will appreciate you endlessly for bringing your game to PlayStation VR, where PC kind of has this attitude like you owe them something. PlayStation VR is just the opposite. You'll get eternal gratitude from that group if you bring your game to their platform. And
Yeah,
this really just goes to show here with the way that they're receiving the Swords of Gargantua, and I got to imagine Gadgeteer will be much the same.
I agreed.
Gamer Chick cracking me up with her Ren and Stimpy talk, flashing me
Hmm.
back to my childhood.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, let's actually before we sign off, Roots, let's for a change actually talk about a new game. We did get news of one new announcement, and Roots, this one really intrigues me. This is a game called Demayo, and this game is from our friends over at Resolution Games. And you know, we've often praised Resolution Games for kind of knowing their wheelhouse and sticking to it. You know, they've always kind of been into this co-op party type of game, right? The type of games that you would see on a mobile phone. You know, they've got their Angry Birds, they've got their cookouts, they've got their Akron, Attack of the Squirrels or whatever. They have these kind of you know these kind of fast gameplay loops that you can play with your friends that really they seem a lot like mobile games. But with Blast On last year, we started to see them kind of move outside of their wheelhouse a little bit, and Blast On was fairly well received. Now we kind of see them honing it in and giving us the best of both worlds. This past week, Resolution Games announced Demeo, which is a turn based role playing game coming to most VR devices
Hmm.
next year. Demeo comes across as a Dungeons and Dragons style dungeon crawler where friends team up to go on fantasy adventures. Heading into a monster infested underworld, the brief video that they have given us highlights various character classes from a heavily armored knight to an archer and, of course, a mage. A die also rolls into view
Ooh.
with various attacking, defensive, and negative effects, emulating the classic board game
Hmm.
experience. So here have Roots. We have Resolution Games going way outside of their wheelhouse into the realm of the VR RPG, but putting their own spin on it and really heavily revolving around co-op gameplay. Uh, I think that this game looks amazing. Not just really from the video footage, but just the idea of it. I feel like this is a type of game that we really haven't seen done like this in VR yet, and I can't think of a better studio to realize a vision like this than Resolution Games.
Yeah, I agree. What's weird is okay, if you're talking about this game and you say turn based, immediately I start to tune out. But then you add co-op, Dungeons and Dragons, dice being rolled, and then I start to envision what my dream is, which is Dungeons and Dragons of some sort in VR. And I've said it before, how cool would it be if you had like a cast of 4 people, each had their own character, but then you also had the game master and he's in VR as well, and he's overseeing the whole board, and he's like grabbing something and throwing it down, and then that shit attacks. And like because that's one of the coolest things about Dungeons and Dragons, at least if you played with the right people, and I can't judge who you played, that's in the past. um it's the game master. The game master makes the game because they're inventing, they're seeing a vision, and they're creating as they're going. And so, even though that has nothing to do with this game, that's what I want. If the devs are listening, of anybody, that's what I want. Bring it into fruition for Roots. But until then, this game does. It looks amazing, and I think it's going to be different. I think it's going to be different in the right ways, right? Like it's going to bring someone like me that is instantly turned out off by turn base, and get me intrigued, and I want to know what's going on in this place, dude. It looks really cool.
Yeah, dude, it's a turn-based strategy game and an adventure at the same time. That's what I like about it. Like all of the adventure elements that I'm seeing here, along with the co-op style gameplay. I mean, we've got dungeon crawlers, right? We've got 100 of these games, but not quite done like this. We've never seen such an homage to the tabletop games of our past. And yeah, I really this studio never ceases to amaze me as they progress over time, how they expand their horizons. And I really look forward to seeing how this thing turns out.
Well, and what's cool about it too is that they're obviously thinking long term, and just in this idea that a lot of people, they don't like. I want to be zoomed in. I want to feel like I got pulled into this board game. You know what I mean? Because that's the dream. You watch a game like, or a movie like Jumanji or something. There's a reason why that resonated with us. And we always dreamed about like somehow getting sucked into the game, right? And that's what this looks like. It looks like you're going to get sucked into this game, and it just looks really cool. And I want to know. I just want to see how the gameplay progresses, and how the dice gets introduced and how that's going to work. And so I'm really intrigued and I'm excited to see where this is going to go.
Agreed. Paradise Decay joined in the chat, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to inform him that we're all waiting on his Cyberpunk
Mm.
2077 Vortex video because I want to know if this thing works. I want to know how good it is, even if it's on an immersive screen roots. If you can play that game in 3D, I am all in on it, brother.
See, I don't know about the 3D part, but I saw somebody else streaming it. I've been thinking about getting this game and playing through it just because it's different. It seems like it's like the closest thing to a 2020 version of Grand Theft Auto. Obviously, totally different in its own ways, but that open world aspect and just looks really cool.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt, a lot of content here, and there are reports from all over that this thing works pretty well in VR.
mm,
So
yeah,
yeah, man, they've got my attention, and I'm just been waiting on the Paradise Decay video to lay it all out for us. How it Kazi says he already did it. I don't recall seeing that. If uh, maybe I missed it,
oh,
but
main fan says you did. We missed it. We missed it, bro.
wow, I must have. I've been busy, Roots. My bad, PD. I'm gonna have to go back through the archives. I've seriously, I've been looking for the the notification. Maybe I just didn't get a notification for it because I see PD stuff. It comes to my phone, so I don't really miss much of it. So I don't know. I don't know how I missed that one.
He said it works like a dream, and main fan says it's not geometry 3D, and I don't know what the difference is. I mean, I know that there's adaptive and there's different things,
Yeah,
but I don't know what the difference is.
the geometry 3D is a little bit has a little bit more depth to it. But again, I'm fine. Like if there are visual defects and things in the full VR version, I generally tend to use immersive screen most of the time anyway in
Mm,
Vortex.
that's what I'm gonna do.
So it's not a big deal for me. I can just put it on the screen and be happy with it.
So how weird is it, Wes, that I'm like not wanting to spend or buy the Medal of Honor, but I'm debating whether I buy this game or that game 2077 and play it in VR because the game I just want to play that game. And if you give me a reason, I can stream it. I could play it in Vorpex. Hell yeah, bro, that would be cool.
There you go. And we'll talk more about Medal of Honor tomorrow. But I had the same debate with myself. Like if I'm going to drop, no, like I was all in. Like I was going to buy Medal of Honor, but I kind of had it in my head that it was going to be a $40 game, right? Like most uh, Oculus releases, they're $40. Um, when it launched for 60 at the same time as Cyberpunk launched, and now people are saying you can play Cyberpunk in VR, I had to pump the brakes, right? I had to pump the brakes on that $60 because I mean I was thinking about playing Cyberpunk flat. You know what I mean? And you're telling me I can play it in VR. Um, Drillo, of course, says that he says, quote, Cyberpunk 2077 sucks in Vorpex, and I'm the Vorpex man. Well, don't pat yourself on the back too hard there, Drillo. But
Oh,
there's plenty of other people that disagree with you. So
I love that.
we'll
Don't
see.
pat yourself on the back, Drillo. Drillo does. He's good. He's good at that. I love me some Drillo. I'll tell you what though, it's weird because some people are swearing by it and other people I'm like you, Wes, as long as it's let's be honest, at least for me, I don't know that I'm ever gonna play Vorpex full VR. It just doesn't work for me, bro. The settings, whatever. Drillo, you come over to my house, you set it up. I'm going right in there because you're the Vorpex man. But me setting it up, I'm gonna immersive screen it, and at that point, I don't know if it matters as much on how you know what I mean. It's gonna matter and how it looks in Vorpex, but it's gonna be easier to obtain that good visuals versus the full VR. So,
Yeah, see the whole thing with me is just having some depth to the game. I
okay.
don't need to have 360 immersion, you know. That's cool and all, but the head movement always feels weird to me the way that they kind of uh they kind of tie the head movement to your mouse, you know. That never has felt right to me in the full VR Vorpex. But I'm fine. I don't need it to be full VR. I just need some kind of depth to the game to make it worth putting the headset on. And I'm in, you know.
That's true. Well, and I'll tell you what, at least for streaming, there is a bit of simplicity of not being in the headset. So I could see still streaming it anyway flat, but if I can play it in 3D, which I guess is Z3D sucks, Drullo says, but if I could play it in Z3D and maybe it's better, right? So
We'll find out sooner or later. I'm not so sure how soon. We'll see. And we will revisit this, I assure you, because this is something we were going to do on Monday show anyway, was kind of start going down the line with some of these bigger titles in Vorpex and Helix Vision.
yeah.
Which, by the way, I tried Helix Vision with my 3080 the other day, and it was a no-go. I got an error message telling me that they're working on fixing it, but it's not running right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's what I'm glad to, I mean, I'm not glad to hear that, but I am glad to have that confirmation because I didn't understand why when I was trying to use Helix Vision, I just couldn't do it with the 2080. It just, but after the 1080, there's issues, right?
Yeah,
So,
well, good. The good thing is I'm getting ready to build another system around the 1080, so
yeah,
I'll always have that to fall back on for the Helix Vision stuff.
true. True.
Anyway, what time is it, by the way?
I think it's quote time. It's time for Roots to
It,
get the sound bite for quote time. Send it to Roots. If you know a good quote time sound, I'd be interested.
yeah, I'm sure we could come up with something good. You know,
Yeah.
we're already kind of in active planning mode for the channel next year. We got some cool things on the way. I think the quote time soundbite has to be one of those things we get worked out here
Yeah,
over the next month or two.
I agree.
Anyway, here we are. Quote time. This is Tommy Palm, CEO of Resolution Games. And if you ever watch this, Mr. Palm, kudos to you. Really impressed with what your studio's been doing. But anyway, quote Tommy Palm, CEO, Resolution Games. Many of us here at Resolution Games have incredibly fond memories of spending late nights playing old fashioned tabletop RPG games with our friends. For the past few years, we've been working to translate that very special experience to VR. And Demayo delivers everything you love about gathering around a table to slay monsters with your friends without having to furiously erase mistakes from your character sheet. We also have another quote here from Mike Booth, who is who is a rather board member from Resolution Games and is also a creative director for Demeo. And Mr. Booth says, quote, tabletop games are seeing a new renaissance as of late, and those players, new and veteran, are faithful as ever. We carried this weight through the entire development process to stay true to that core while creating something from the ground up for VR. In fact, when we first started sharing early builds of Demeo, more than one industry expert expressed their doubts that anyone could successfully pull off the transformation of such an experience. But when they put the headset on, they were completely sold. So here they are saying, Rich, that they wanted to, uh, in an accurate way, transfer this tabletop experience into the headset and without just having a table in the in the headset. They want you to be a part of the game.
Mm.
And they talked to many industry veterans who were skeptical that they could pull it off, but when they tried it, they became believers, and that right there is what has me really intrigued about this game.
You say in the headset, right? Because I'm confused because Scion VR says it looks good except for the questicle graphics, but I don't know that he's seen it in the headset. And that's the key. That's the bottom line for all these games, man. It looks really good to me. I would imagine in the questicle headset,
There's
it's going to look
there's
amazing as well.
there's not enough God raising screen door effect roots.
Oh,
It
that's
needs
right.
more of that stuff.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
I see what you were saying, but I just don't know that you can look at this video. I maybe tell me what you're saying that makes it look like it's shitty graphics because I think it looks really good. And I can't wait to see what it looks like in the headset. I think it's gonna look even better. But
Chris Richardson says there's a PSVR game that kind of looks like what Demeo is promising. He's probably thinking about the Table of Tales roots.
The Table of Tales is I need to get back to that. I can't. I don't own it. That was really cool. The way that they did that was super cool. And if it's anything like that, but co-op, I agree. This is going to be an amazing game.
Yeah, PlayStation has a few of these like tabletop style games that are really cool. Table of Tales being one of them. No Heroes Allowed being another.
Hmm.
That they kind of I don't know if it's the console being designed for the every gamer. Uh, I don't know why, but there seems to be a lot more of this type of thing on the console.
Yeah. Well, I guess it just depends. Like there's certain games, like we've said before, like that seem to be tailored to a console play, like an Akron or whatever. That's like co-op couch type of things. Not that that's what this is, but maybe they've just felt that this was more of a console game, and so they've approached it a little bit more. But I think it's cool that they're bringing this into VR. I think they're every game they do, it gets better and better, and this is no exception. So I'm psyched to see this game when it comes out, and I think it's going to look amazing.
Paradise Decay said he sent us links on Discord, I assume, to his Cyberpunk 2077 Vortex video. Thanks, man. I don't know how I missed it. I literally been looking for it, so I must have not got the notification from YouTube or something. 'Cause literally, I'm very curious to see what you think about this.
Hmm.
PSVR Underground joining the chat says that those PSVR tabletop games are all excellent games, and yeah, underrated as well.
Yeah,
Most of them, anyway.
Table of Tales, ironically, is one of the few games that really makes me feel sad that I sold my PSVR because I didn't play it enough. You know what I mean? Like a lot of games I played, I beat Farpoint, so that doesn't bother me. Rush of Blood, I feel like I want to play again, but I can't. Like there's certain games that keep wanting me to play them, and I almost regret my sale of it. Although when I look at the stability of my handgun, I think it was a good trade off. But eventually I'll get the PSVR 2, and then I'll be psyched. But PD wants to know why you're wearing a hat in the desert, and I would say it's the same reason I'm in the rain and I'm not having an umbrella. We're blessed, I mean, we feel good. We need to wear a hat. So.
Yeah, to be honest, the reason why is because NVIDIA broadcast works better if I can tame my hair. So
Oh. I'll tell you what, Wes. I went and got my my driver's license renewed, and they literally told me, I think I might have even said this before, that my beard was actually giving the computer a hard time. So like it can make a difference. So
excuse me just a moment here. I've got a phone or something going off here.
no, it's all good. Well, I will tell you, I'm glad I don't have to wear a hat in this rain. It's nice and dry here, and I'm warm, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Anyway, Demayo slated for a 2021 launch on Oculus Quest and Rift, as well as Steam VR. The studio is also ensuring compatibility for normal PC gaming, including crossplay with VR. So this is not just going to be a VR game, Roots. This is also going to be a flat game as well. I guess if you're going to have this type of game, you want to have uh, as big of a player base as you possibly can, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's good. A flat. I mean, if it's coming to flat, that tells you it's. I mean, it's not easy to make a flat and a VR game and have it be successful. So that's good.
Absolutely. So looking forward to this one, and you know, weirdly inconspicuously absent here from the list is PlayStation VR. That's kind of surprising to me because I think pretty much everything else Resolution Games has done has come to PSVR. Maybe not Blast On. Did Blast On go to PSVR?
I don't know if it did or
But
not.
this again, this is the type of game that really lends itself well to that community. I'd be shocked if they didn't port it over.
Yeah, I agree. And Drillo's making the case of why he make didn't like Medal of Honor, why it disappointed him. And again, I'll remind you all, just because this is a good segue to remind it. Tuesday, we're going to be going deep dive into Medal of Honor, and Wes is going to tell us whether he thinks it's worth picking up or not.
It's a complex answer to that, Roots, because there's a lot of good and there's a lot of not so good in this game. And the good's really good, and the bad is kind of annoying. So, but again, I'm still early in my gameplay, so we'll see how it goes. But overall, I've enjoyed it. It's just there's been some really nagging, annoying things about it.
Yeah, well, hopefully the annoying things can be patched out, and then when I play it, it'll be everything I dreamed it to be.
Drew says that there's no blast on PlayStation VR.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they might have skipped that one. It's a weird time for PlayStation VR. A lot of developers are kind of shying away from it just based on the uncertainty of the platform where it's going. And if there are certain developers, not all developers, obviously some of the bigger ones probably have an idea, but a lot of the smaller VR game houses really don't know where the platform is headed. Not that not that there's any worry that it's headed somewhere. They just don't know where. So it's kind of hard to develop a game for a platform that you don't know what direction it's going to be going on a year from now. You know,
Yeah, well, that's why everybody's gravitating towards the Quest because it seems to be the most stable of all platforms right now. So,
right now being the
right
operative
now.
words.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, when
Uh,
PSVR 2 comes out, man, it's going to crush the Quest, dude. I'm putting it out there right now.
I bet on that. But Paradise Decay says Medal of Honor is an average game. Overall, I'd say that's correct, but there's so many things that are way above average. I mean, there are some great things about it. It's just that there's some other things that drag that stuff down. Anyway, we're going to get into that on Tuesday when we do the Monday show.
Yep.
So be sure to tune in for that. But now it is time for the reminders. And as always, we're going to start with some reminders about what's coming out this week. Roots, not as many games as we had coming out last week, but some quality stuff, starting with the 17th when we all get Vin VR Adventure. And for those of you who didn't catch it, we did a gameplay video yesterday of the first level of this game. And Roots, heavy Astrobot vibes,
Mm.
like we said at the top of the program, almost one-to-one controls, and that's not a bad thing, is it?
No, dude, this is what my thought is so far after playing the first level. I will, I haven't played, gonna go into it more. Is if you haven't played Astrobot, if you don't have a PlayStation VR, here you go. This is the closest thing you're gonna get to Astrobot, and it's just a completely different type of um, genre as far as the things going on, but it's a different environment. I'm really enjoying it so far. I love platformer games, and so I'm super psyched to go into this more.
Yeah, man. Don't misread what we're saying here. We're not saying that it's quite on the level of Astrobot, and it might be. We just don't know yet. We've only played that first level. We're definitely going to have access to the rest of the game later in the week, so stay tuned for that. Much more to come on this game, but I'm really surprised at how good some of the things about this game were. That first level was absolutely epic use of of scale. I mean, just so much here that reminds you of things that you loved about Astrobot. It's hard not to make the comparison. I mean, the gameplay is almost identical. The concept of the game is almost identical. But again, that's not such a bad thing. It's the PCVR uh, players have never. I mean, many of them have never had the opportunity to try Astrobot. Where I'm not so sure this game is going to stack up is in the enemy diversity and the level diversity. One of the things that Astrobot did really well is one level to the next level really took you to a whole different corner of the universe. And there was a lot of variety and a lot of the charm and cuteness factor to the Astrobot characters. But with that said, I got to feel like the storytelling seems like it might be on another level for Vin here, where the Astrobot story is just kind of vague and contrived. They're focusing on that aspect a little bit more here with Vin.
Yeah, well, and let's be honest, I was a little bit put off that I didn't in Astrobot. I never got to fist bump the robot, dude. They already did that first second, dude. I was fist bumping that guy. You had me at fist bump, so I'm good.
Anyway, a solid opening level to this. Much more to come. Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes out on the 17th, and 2 days later on the 19th, Roots Crunch Element releases. This is a game that was born in Kickstarter that has consistently gotten better and better and better looking from the footage that we've seen. We haven't tried it as of yet. But this is a compound breaching game, basically military style incursion into these buildings and all sorts of explosive toys and doodads to get us into the bad guys and allow us to kill them. Uh, my hype level from this game has grown from basically a piece size amount to a fairly substantial amount as we prepare for release here, Roots. And I wouldn't have thought it, in the early days of the Kickstarter, but I'm actually looking forward to getting this one in my hands.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's all going to be about the gunplay, but it looks good from what I've seen. So I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, physics based, explosions and things too. I mean, they've really polished this thing up a lot, apparently, from the early days. And if I'm not mistaken, this one's going to launch right into Viport Infinity too. So people are going to be able to play it on day one. A lot of people are going to be able to play it on day one, and
Nice.
uh, and we'll meet back here to talk about it.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, that's going to bring us to our wish list segment where we ask all of you, while you're at your computer, since you're not doing anything else, would you please join us and help us to support our game developer friends by taking just a moment in real time with us right now to go and wish list something? It could be something that we're talked about here today, or something that maybe you've had on your mind that you're really curious about. But it's really important to these developers. It helps them to raise the profile of their game, and it also helps them to gauge interest from us, the consumer base. So it just takes a second. So if you wouldn't mind, as Roots and I go right now, would you please come along with us and let's go wish list something?
I just tried, man. Only thing I thought, okay, for sure, I don't have Demeo on there, but I do. Um, so it's hard for me to find something, Wes. I guess I
What,
could.
you already have that Demayo game wish listed?
Yeah, isn't that weird? I don't know, man. I guess I'm.
How?
I don't know. Somehow
Because
I
I
got to.
just learned about this game. I don't. I mean, unless we've covered it in
We
months
may
past, and I just don't remember it.
we may have covered it before because I have it on there. So
We must have then, huh?
yeah, it looks like it's already out. I'm looking at the wrong game. I must be.
Yeah, there is a Steam page for it. I'm pulling it up as we speak.
Yeah, I think it's
Release date spring
okay.
2021.
We covered another game, I think. Yeah, I do not have that on my wish list. I don't know what game that is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. But it's on there now, and all the confusion's behind us, and we're good.
Yeah, and I'm adding it to my wish list as well. So there we go. Resolution Games, Demayo, excellent looking trailer. Hopefully the game is as good as it seems like it might be. All right, brings us to our next set of reminders, which is free stuff and killer deals. And we're going to kick it off as we always do with a PlayStation Plus reminder. The December games are Just Cause 4, Rocket Arena, and Worms Rumble. Worms Rumble being for PlayStation 4 as well as PlayStation 5. So if you guys are members of PlayStation Plus, don't forget to go and claim your free games. They may be flat games, Roots, but as we always say, free is free, right?
Yeah, I need to get better. I haven't gone to the Epic Game Store for a while. Like I need to pull it up and get my free games. It's free.
Yeah. And we're going to get to Epic Game Store in just a moment. But really quickly, before we get off the topic of PlayStation, many of the PSN sales that we've been talking about in recent weeks are still active on there. But as you know, I don't like to repeat sales week after week after week. But I did notice something on there that I was not aware of. So probably a new sale, and that is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. And for those of you who don't know, this is the version of Resident Evil 7 that contains all of the DLC packed into it as well. So most of which is playable in VR. It's a must own from I think most people would tell you that, and it's a still at $20 right now. So That will not only get you the base game, but again, get you all of the DLC packs that were released as well. Definitely worth $20.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I really actually. That's one of the ones I miss. Is playing that in VR. So
PSVR Underground says he wishlisted Hitman 3. I'm interested to know, AJ, did you did you wishlist the PS4 or the PS5 version? Because I'm kind of on the fence. It's like uh or did you even get the deluxe version? One of the versions is cheaper than the other, and I think that they're all going to, if the news stories are to be believed, from a VR perspective, we're going to get access to the same thing no matter which version we buy. But one of them's like $10 less than the other one,
hmm.
and I don't even know if there's any real advantage to getting the deluxe version over the regular one. It's only $4 more to pre-order the deluxe version. But I have not pre-ordered yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the PS5 one, the PS4 one, the deluxe, the standard. I really just don't know yet. Um, but yeah, definitely on my radar. Going to get it. I'm going to pre-order it. I'm just kind of waiting for all the details to settle on that game before I pick which version I'm going to get.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. It's important, man. So,
So, anyway, let's move on to Epic Game Store. Pillars of Eternity, the definitive edition, free this week, as well as a second game called Tyranny, Gold Edition. Both, from what I can tell, Roots similar style of games. They're kind of that top-down action RPG style of game that's so popular right now. Pretty expensive. I think one of them was like 40 or $50 normally.
50. I
Um,
just picked it up. The Tyranny one was $50. I just picked them both up. So it's crazy.
Uh, PSVR Underground says he's getting the PS5 version, which we just learned recently includes PlayStation VR. They're going to allow people who buy the PS5 version to also have the PS4 version so they can play VR, which is really cool. And he says it doesn't matter as long as you get one and two. So like the maps from Hitman 1 and 2 are going to be playable in VR if you own it already.
Oh,
And I own Hitman 2 already in my catalog. I think I'm going to have to go back and buy one, but there's a few different versions. So I want to make sure I get the right one. A lot of questions when it comes to Hitman. No question at all that I'm going to buy it. I've already got the funds on my
mm.
PlayStation account to pick it up earmarked, but I got to work some of these details out to make sure I'm getting the right thing.
RE8. Do you see yourself buying Resident Evil 8? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not going to buy it until they confirm VR support.
oh, so if
I'm not
they,
playing it flat.
so
I'm
what if?
not
Oh,
wasting it.
so if they said we're not doing VR, you're out.
That's it.
Oh wow. Well, you know
They're,
what?
they're doing VR. There's no question they're doing VR. That's why I'm out. I won't ruin that game by playing it flat when I know at some point there's going to be a VR version. And
Uh,
even if there's not, it'll be out on PC one day and I'll Vorpex it. So
yeah, yeah. Well, I agree. Paradise Decay says that there's a FAOV mod for RE7 on PC now, and it's supposed to make it look really good in Vorpex. So I might have to give that a try.
yeah, I had some success with Resident Evil 7 on Helix Vision, but again, it was immersive screen mode. It wasn't full VR.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, I would love to play it again in VR, even if it was on immersive screen. I could never get it to work right on either of my Vorpex or Helix Vision, and I bought the game. I own it. So, but I just don't want to play it unless it's in VR.
Anyway, what I wanted to say about the Epic Games Store is I did notice when I was in there taking down the free games from Epic Games that next week's game is mystery game,
Ooh.
and generally when they do mystery game routes, it's a good one. So I don't know what it's going to be, but next week, I got to imagine the Epic Games Store free game is going to be a pretty cool title.
2077? No, just kidding.
2076.
Yeah, the sequel or the prequel. Yeah, yeah.
So let's move on to the Oculus Quest store. As we noted last week, Oculus Quest returning to sales. They're doing game sales again. Not very many, but they are having sales on their games once more. The daily deal today is Tetris Effect Roots, $24, and I can say firsthand, this game translates very well to standalone Quest.
Yeah, I already bought it, or else I was going to buy it today. So that's a good deal. $25, right?
24, absolutely.
Yeah.
They also have a pretty awesome bundle where you can get Ghost Giant and Falcon Age together for $32. Again, another great deal.
Yeah, those are both great games, especially for kids. And you got the knuckle bump of the Falcon Age. Who doesn't want a knuckle bump of Falcon? I mean, if you do, then I question your soul.
Well, there you go, and you can do it. Cost effective on Oculus Quest.
Yep.
Then we move on to the Oculus Link store, and as I mentioned at the top of the show, I think Rift/Link is the winner this week. Tons of great sales on the Oculus Link store, starting with Seeking Dawn at $9. Also $9 is Wilson's Heart,
Ooh.
which we've had a lot of discussion in our Discord about lately. I would challenge anyone to go try and look at the IMDb page, IMDb page for Wilson's Heart, and try not to be impressed by the cast of actors that that are behind this game. I mean, Peter Weller's in this, Rosario Dawson, Michael B. Jordan, uh, Paul Rubens Roots, Pee Wee Herman's in this game. How could you not pick it up for $9?
Yeah, dude. Pee Wee, man. Then you bring him back, bro.
He never went anywhere. Roots.
Oh, that's right. He's out there. He's been out there for a while.
Defector, another great game, $10. Guns and Stories Bulletproof Roots. This blows my mind. $3 for that game. And am I wrong? Is this not a cross-buy title?
It is, and it's amazing. It's an amazing title that I found a little while ago, just doing a one of our segments on the Monday show, and I enjoyed it to play it all the way through for $3, dude. That's a no-brainer.
PSVR Underground says it has RoboCop. It absolutely does, man. It's an awesome title. From it was an Oculus exclusive. I'm surprised that they haven't put this one on Steam and tried to expand the fan base for it. I mean, it's a classic in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, the Guns and Stories Bulletproof for $3, and you get it on Rift and you get it on Quest, and I mean that's a killer deal if there ever was one.
Yep.
That almost qualifies as free stuff, Roots.
Yeah, it's cheap enough that you it's cheaper than a cup of coffee, or at least my cups of coffee. So
Shadow Point, a great Oculus exclusive puzzle game, $11.
yeah.
Path of the Warrior, another cross-buy title, $10, and we had a lot of fun in that one, right?
Yeah, and I think Shadow Point's cross by as well, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have sworn I have it in my Quest library.
You're absolutely right. I passed right over that without realizing it, but you're correct. Most of these Oculus Studios games are cross-buy, and Shadow Point among them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. Asgard's Wrath. If you don't have an Oculus Quest 2 and you want to buy Asgard's Wrath, it's $20. If you do own an Oculus Quest 2, then it's free. Don't do it. You can get it for free. But if you don't, I mean, $20. I mean, this is one of the best VR games ever, right?
Yeah, it's so good. The story, the gameplay, the visuals, the audio, everything about it, except for the game size and the weirdness around it. It's definitely worth playing for sure. It's one of the reasons why I'm thinking about going back through it, because I never made it past, I think, that prison level. So
Drillo says Seeking Dawn was actually okay. It was. There's some jank involved if you try to play it multiplayer, but as a single player game, I mean, most of that is gone, if not all of it, and it's a pretty fun game.
yeah,
Certainly worth the price tag here at $9.
yeah. Just remember to hit the X button, and if you're somebody that's played it with me, that reference makes sense. VR Spry Guy says he just picked up Asgard's Wrath yesterday on the sale. That's a good pickup.
Delirium Juice says you guys really like Guns and Stories. Yeah, man. I mean, it's a wave shooter, but it's a fun like arcade style wave shooter. And dude, it's $3 for 2 copies of it. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, I like the story. I thought it was just everything about it. It was different. It was like the guns changed, the way the grandpa would change his story halfway through, and all of a sudden he's telling the story, and the the guns now become like high tech and stuff. And I found it really entertaining. It was one of
Yeah.
the better wave shooters I've done for sure.
Yeah, it's a competent wave shooter with a funny story.
Yep.
Say that funny presentation. And then Boiling Steel, also from Mirrorwind, also cheap at $4. Another steal. And I feel weird about. I literally mention these games every other week, but it's only because they're such a stupid deal that I feel like I'm ripping somebody off if I don't mention it. So.
Yeah, it's like Viveport Infinity. That's why we mention it so much. Is it's such a good deal, and that's one of the reasons why we do this podcast is to let you guys know what's going on. So.
Yep. So we're gonna move on to Steam, and I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit as I am running out of time here. But some good sales on Steam as well. There are all of the usual suspects that are on there that always go on these Steam sales. So I'm not going to repeat those. But Res Infinite is $12, one of the best games in VR. Period. $12, a classic. Dead Effect 2 Roots is $7, and this is one that I've kind of been itching to jump into with you. So
Yeah,
we need to get into that pretty soon.
yeah, I think you're gonna like it, dude. It's pretty cool and it's very, very intricate. There's so much to it, the upgrades, everything, because it was a flat game brought into VR, right? So
I'm really
I thought
not
it was.
sure.
I thought it was. If not, they did a really good job. It's definitely worth playing for sure, especially for $7.
Absolutely. 1976 Back to Midway has released onto Steam, and it's on a launch discount here. It's $13 right now, Roots, and it's a great game. I couldn't recommend it enough.
No brainer. And they just added the patch for your HOTAS. If you have a HOTAS, you can now I can use my Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS. Should work. So I've been actually almost did that yesterday, so I'm gonna do it soon.
A Mini Motor Racing X, Roots. A fun RC Pro Am style racer if you want it to be, or you can make it into a Mario Kart style racer depending on the camera angle. A bunch of different camera angles, which affect the gameplay dramatically. You wouldn't think so, but it does. But a great, highly polished racing game. $13 on Steam.
Wow, that's a steal. Yeah, the camera angle literally makes you feel like you're playing a different game almost, which is cool.
Absolutely. Headmaster's coming bundled with the Lost Lessons DLC for only $16. One of the most uh, addictive games that I've ever played. A game that I still go back to this day, and to get it bundled with the DLC for $16 is a great deal.
Yeah, it's one of the best games out there of that type for sure.
And last but not least, we come to Viport Infinity. Not a lot to go on as far as additions to the Infinity catalog this week. But before we get to that, they do still have a holiday deal going on for those of you who have yet to subscribe. You can subscribe to Infinity Annual right now at 10% off, meaning that you will get a year of Viport Infinity access for $96. And Roots, to sweeten the deal, as they say, they're going to give you to keep two games, Phasmophobia and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. And as you know, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, one of the best games in VR. It's a $40 game in its own right. So at $96, these two games cover over half of the cost of your Infinity subscription. So if you look at it the right way, you're only spending $45 or $50 here on your subscription.
Well, and it's funny because some people would say, "Ah, well, and I don't think are neither one of these are included in the Infinity package, though, right?"
Well, that's it's funny that you should mention that because Phasmophobia, it was either last week or the week before, showed up in the Infinity catalog.
Hmm.
And the one title that I did notice this week as being part of the Infinity catalog was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
it, it appeared, which I've been fooled before. Their website's a little bit weird, but it looks like The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is an Infinity title now.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll tell you what. Even if we have to remember these Infinity titles rotate. So you may have access to those games today, and 2 months from now they might not be there anymore because they rotate. So, and I would submit, even though I haven't really tried Phasmophobia as much as I want to, but with its success, and then of course Walking Dead, I know for a fact because I've played a lot of it. They're games you're going to want to own. You're going to want to own the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, even if you could play it for free on Infinity. You're going to want to own it. Now, let me submit this: if you do own it and you have Infinity, say you own it on Steam, bump over to Infinity and play it for an hour or two on Infinity as well. Because, like we've discussed before, the developers actually get extra money, even if you own it on Steam. If you run over to Viveport, they're getting something by playing it on there, correct? So, I would submit play everything on Viveport Infinity if you can.
Yeah, from what I understand, I'm not like 100% in
So.
on what all of the details are on how developers are compensated um, through Viveport Infinity, but I know for a fact that some of them, at least, are compensated on the basis of how much gameplay their game brings in. So, by playing their game, you literally are supporting them monetarily directly. And
Okay.
again, as we mentioned earlier, through the end of the year, the developers are getting 100% of the revenue from that as well. So,
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to mention before we get off here that I noticed in the chat, and I've just forgot until now. Spry Guy said that he believes that, I think it's Epic Game Store. I thought that's what you said, Spry, is after the 15th is giving away a day, all the way through the rest of the year. So
nice.
yeah, so that's something to keep your eye on as well.
Well, we were talking about our hiatus that we're about to go on, how we might pop up and do an impromptu show here and there. I mean, if with stuff like that going on, we might have to do just a quick episode of free stuff and killer deals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that, that's the beauty of not being beholden to the normal shows is we have the ability and time to do an impromptu stuff or something that we wouldn't have. Usually we've got so much other things going on, especially Wes. He's still got little ones, and that takes precedence over almost everything. So we kind of fit things around
And
it.
I also have a job. And with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. And I'm going to remind you all our last set of reminders is how you can support our channel and our community. Of course, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It's the big red button there, and click the bell while you're at it to stay up with all of our content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. Of course, for those of you who want to have a little more active hand in the community, the invitation to our Discord in the description down there. Be sure to click on that. Join our Discord because deliberations are about to begin for our 2020 awards that we're going to name on the 2020 show. And of course, your guys' input is very important in the process here. And we're going to start in a few days. So if you haven't already, be sure to join our Discord. And then, of course, for those of you who want to go the extra mile, you can, of course, support us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you can gain access to our weekly show notes, as well as the occasional episode of the always awesome Money Show, which I think, Roots, we are going to do a money show here within the next week or so. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. And also, we're teasing, we're not sure on what level, but Patreon will be a part of our discussion for the 2020 show in some form or fashion. So you want to be a part of that as well.
Absolutely. And with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Take it easy.